Hey, how you doing? This is Jason again. I'm following up on my group counseling with the video journal. Um, Wanted to talk about a few things that I learned last night. Some of the things that were handed out were pretty useful to me. I had seen them before, but yet it's good to see it in black and white, especially the 7 habits of highly effective people. Um, I think that when you think of these things and how to organize yourself and get yourself prepared. I think the 7 spiritual laws as well. At first, I kind of thought it was hogwash, but when you really look at it and you break it down, it's actually pretty good. The funny thing about it is a lot of us do this without even thinking about it. We think about these things, we talk about these things, but yet we don't know how to voice them or we don't know how to write them down where they make sense. So I think this is important, especially the law of Dharma. I thought that was kind of cool. Unfortunately, all I kept thinking about was Dharma and Greg, but Dharma was pretty neat. Everybody has their own place in this world, and that's true. Everybody has this special thing that they were meant for. Um, we just have to find it, and I think that's the biggest challenge. Um, I also talked about some of the things like the 12 things successful people do differently. Um, I think that's interesting because I follow this pretty regularly, and it's helped me a lot. Like I said, a lot of the things I have to do, I just have to wrap my mind around it and have to hear it enough times, and it's kind of like convincing myself, I guess, more than anything. Um, Number 8 on this list says basically they focus on small, continuous improvements. And I think that's true of me. I'm really big on doing, in the Army, we call them after action reviews. And basically, you conduct a training event or conduct an event or anything actually. And then after you're done, you sit there and you say, okay, all right, what were we supposed to do today? Did we do that? And then let's talk about 3 ways that we can improve. And then 3 things that we want to sustain or that we want to keep from this type of training or event. And what it's supposed to do is help you develop into a better trainer, leader, and obviously soldier. So you are not only progressing yourself, you're progressing the people below you that are going to take over eventually. So I think it's a good thing. Um, Number 3 was pretty good. They focus on being productive, not being busy. Now that's something else I've heard before. And when I was in the military, I ran an operations job. That was a 6 ring circus. Forget 3 ring circus. That was a job where you had to be productive because you had timelines you had to fit, that you had to meet and fit. And then you also had to have all these other tasks, the hey yous is what they call them. And all these things had to just constantly fit into this little tiny little ball. And you had to get it done by the end of the day. And so it wasn't about just being busy work. It was you had to be very productive and very smart and very organized on how you did your stuff. And like I said, like we talked about systems, only your system made sense to you because that's what works in your mind. You couldn't explain it to someone else. Say, hey, here's how you should do this. They have to figure it out their own themselves. Um, there was requirements that had to be done, but how you got them done was all on your system. So, number 1 on this list, they create and pursue SMART goals. Now, I'd heard about SMART goals, like I said before, this program, but the Army did use a different version. Like I said, we use AARs and we use long term, short term goals, things like that, but same thing. Um, I like the SMART goals, and I think it's important because it does get to the meat potatoes. And like you said, how specific you are creates a more tangible result. In this particular case, focus on making small, continuous improvements. So I do appreciate the class. I think it's really good. Sorry to see that we have one more class left, but I understand. But I do enjoy the things that we've learned, and I'm ready to keep making those changes.